In this lecture, we are going to create a simple login page in Xamarin. Okay, to start, let's create a new project. Type here the Xamarin, then select the Xamarin Forms and click Next, and then we will name this Login. And then click the Create button. Select the blank template, and then finally click OK. Okay, so let's start by opening our main page.xaml. So what we're going to do here is we will explore some additional properties of our elements. So for now, we are not going to use the label, so let's delete this. So instead, we are going to create and add two entries and one button. So let's write here entry and another entry, and the last one is button. So we will give the text property of the button to show us the login text, and then we will also add a name for our button. Let's name this btn login, and then for our entry, we will add a placeholder. Now let's see the changes of how it looks like in our XAML previewer by clicking this double left arrow button. Okay, so as of now, here is the result. So basically we have two tabs here, the preview for Android and the preview for iOS. If we are going to open the previewer for iOS, it is going to raise an error because basically it requires a connection to a Mac computer, which is at the moment I don't have it in this video lecture. So let's go back to our Android and let's add some more properties to our elements. This would be even better if we can put this at the center of our page. So we can accomplish that by adding here a vertical alignment. So let's put this at the center. Okay, so there you have it. And then let's add some margins at the left side and at the right side of our page. So to accomplish this, let's add another property for our stack layout. Let's narrow this down and let's put this at the bottom. So let's type here margin, and we can use two values for our margin. The first one is for the left and right, and the second one is for the top and bottom. So the 20 here refers to the left and right margin of our page, and the 0 refers to the top and bottom of the page. We can actually expand this one to contain 4 values. So if you're going to write here 5 and 10, so basically this one, the first value, the 20 here, refers to the left, the 0 here refers to the top, the 5 here refers to the right, and the 10 refers to the bottom. So if we're going to turn this to 20, so both left and right are equal, and top is 0 and bottom margin is 10. But we don't need a margin at the bottom, so we can turn this also to 0. Or to simplify everything, we can just use two values, 20 for left and right, and 0 for top and bottom. Okay, so we can further enhance this by adding a margin between our password and login. So let's go ahead and add a margin to our password and login button. So let's create a new line, and then just below the text property of our button, let's add here margin, and then margin at the top. So we can write here 0 for our left and right, and then we can also add here 20 for our top and bottom. Okay, maybe we can increase this to 40. Okay, so there you go. But again, the 40 here refers to the margin at the top and margin at the bottom. So basically, the login button here has a margin at the bottom, which at the moment we don't need to have it at the bottom. So we can turn bottom margin to 0. So we can do this by adding here 0 and then 0 for the bottom. Okay, so there you go. Now we can also add some color properties to our button by adding here a background color for the login button. Let's say Dodger blue. Okay, and then we can turn also the text color of our button by changing this to white. We can further enhance this by adding some keyboard properties to our email. When the user enters his email, so the @ sign for our email address is immediately displayed on the keyboard. So let's go ahead and add that property. We cannot really see the changes after adding the keyboard property, but if we are going to preview this in our simulator, as we type our email address, it will display the @ sign just next to the number sign. Whereas if you're going to select and type the password, it will not display the @ symbol. So for email, you have the @ symbol because we set the keyboard to be an email. And for password, what we are going to do next here is to set this as password. So when we say password, the text that is typed by the user should be hidden. Okay, so to accomplish that, let's go back to our C#, then stop the application. On our password, let's type here, his password is true. And then let's test this again. Let's open our simulator. And as we type our password to our password entry, so the characters are now hidden. In the next lecture, we're going to add some source codes into our login page.